Greetings, Natasha Harrison here with Community Build Ventures, and I am back again with Miss Romaine Harris, who is the creative behind From Grief to Growth, who is here to help us on our grieving journey, providing grief support for folks, especially during this time, during this pandemic, and just what's happening in the world right now. And so we are back again to just talk a little bit more about From Grief to Growth as we gear up for our next cohort in October. Hello, Miss Romaine.
Yes, and in the middle part of July.
Oh,
We'll
right, exactly. You're doing also another a cohort in mid-July as well.
yes.
Yes, yes. I apologize. I forgot.
Okay.
Thank you for the grace. I appreciate that. Yes, yes. So again, we're back again, and honestly, just really want to share some information about from grief to growth. Again, it is a support. It's interesting. I've been thinking about all the words to describe it. It is a support process. It is a support practice. It is an accountability resource around like after you experience loss, really loss of any kind, and how you can move through all of those feelings, like getting in touch with moving through all of those feelings and being okay about moving through all those feelings. So it's all of that and more. And so today we want to talk about really the intentions behind it. It is a very intentional space created by Miss Romaine, and so I'll hand it over to you, Romaine, to just talk about what are the intentions of From Grief to Growth.
Number one is to show folks that the healing doesn't come from outside or from another person. Like myself, I always start off my welcome by saying, I know people come and think that I'm going to do something that heals them, but actually, the healing comes from their feelings, and sharing those feelings actually does the healing. So I create this brave space where women can, especially African American women, can dive deep into their own knowing and then bring that out and share it. And in doing so, that is where the healing comes from. I would have never believed it. If someone had told me this prior to my own path, that was how I was going to do my healing, I would have said, "You're crazy. You don't know what you're talking about." But having seen it over and over and over again, even I was down in uh, uh, Eugene. Oh, I guess it was, I don't remember exactly how long ago it was, but a woman who dropped me off and picked me up, and she saw one of the women I often do one on ones. And um, the woman that she saw when she dropped me off and the woman she saw when she picked me up, she said, "Wow, that woman looks completely changed." And I was like, whoa, you know, sometimes you're too close to see the change. And I was just having a lot of good fun with her. And it was an amazing experience to see in hindsight what someone who has never done the practice,
Mhm.
never done the workshop, saw in someone who she didn't even know,
Mhm.
but could see the difference in her face and the light that came out from inside of her. I mean, we're in a new time. People aren't looking to a priest or a minister, or well, some people I'm sure are, and and with the information that we have out here in the information age, we can do so much by our own volition.
Yeah.
And I love that I'm able to show folks the path that I walked and have them do the same thing that I did.
Yeah, absolutely. Who would have thought getting in touch with your feelings? Right? Like that's a real thing, right? We laugh at that, but that's so real. And so how I guess you've somewhat explained it, but like, how does that really support the grieving process?
Well, number one, it supports the grieving process because our culture denies the
Mm,
grieving process. You
mm,
know, I've seen people who, for instance, there was a woman who lost her son about a year or two before my son uh, uh, transitioned, and she went off. And it was such a great example for me to see what not to do. Do you know what I mean? I mean, you're laughing, but the woman was,
what not to do, right? But
yeah, but she was in so much pain
mm,
around the death of her son. And in that process, just about 3 or 4 weeks ago, I saw her, and it's been 14 or 15 years since her son passed, and she's finally come out of it. She's finally become the person that I knew before her son passed. And it's just miracle. I
mm,
had nothing to do with it, by the way,
wow,
but besides my prayers for her and my gratitude, because, you know, sometimes seeing what's not good can be and what you don't want to experience is a great pathway to change your direction to what you do want. And that's what happened to me. I
yeah,
realized that I could not go outside of myself to find my happiness again. I realized that my happiness had totally evaporated when Julius left. And now I realize that that was such a turning point in my life to bring my life to a pinnacle of absolute happiness
mhm,
no matter what,
mm,
based on my life changing and making a pathway for other women, specifically women. But I'll help anyone that comes. But I specifically have the women's group to uh, to be a guide for. That's all I am. I'm just a guide because of the the path that I chose, which was to look deep inside of myself and do what the Buddhists call human revolution. I knew it was an inside job. It wasn't anybody on the outside that was going to be able to make me happy. And the same goes for my grief to grow. I wish I could do something or wave a wand and, a person is instantaneously feeling better, but it's an inside job.
wow.
And luckily, I've got the I've got the crystals that allow folks to go inside.
Hi, yeah,
Kidding.
yeah. I mean, wow, because it's bringing us so much, and we'll have more time to talk about it. But just the having the time set aside to go inside, right? Like that, this is an opportunity to have that moment in an intimate setting, and it's intimate, even virtual, of taking the time to go inside because so much is so external. And
Yeah,
as you shared, our culture doesn't necessarily embrace, for all of us, um, men, women, transgender, gender nonconforming, all of us, doesn't allow the space when we've suffered a loss, when we experience a variety of loss. That could be divorce, that could be
yep,
death. It doesn't allow us the time to go inside, to reflect, to say, how am I feeling about this right now?
yes,
Right.
yes.
So yeah, that's what just came up for me, like just explaining that. And yeah, that, this is an opportunity for folks to do that. This is, and having support while you're doing it.
Well, there were a couple of things I wanted to say that I left out. Number one, if you want to go fast, go by yourself. You're fine. If you want to go far, go with others.
Mm.
And so having several women together doing the healing, it's like a domino effect. You see this one person say something that's tremendously, um, what do I want to call that? Deep and real and authentic, and then it just leads to another person wanting to go deep and share their experience. And I do that intentionally by sharing all the things that I've grieved, like the death of my mother when I was 3.5, the molestation when I was 5 and 6. I'm saying, all of these things help to build this authentic uh, platform. They use it all the time, the word platform. So in the Grief to Growth platform, it's placed in such a way that it's you can be authentic, you can open your heart. I open my heart and you can feel it. And it's just an amazing, magical time that we spend together.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So please join Mr. Romaine in mid-July for
Yes.
Grief to Growth. And then also beginning in October will be another session for grief for from Grief to Growth, 4-part series. So thank you so much for watching this. Please spread the word.
Uh-huh.
Hope to see you. Take care. Bye.
Thank- That was a good one.